With Turkey Al Sheikh and Riyadh season coming into boxing, we have seen a new light where Frank Warren and Eddie Hearn are working together and making the best fights in boxing. And it's really turned out that Frank Warren has put a beating on Eddie Hearn. The first time we saw him have fighters against each other in a 5v5 format, Frank Warren won every single fight in a total destruction. Now, with Joshua Dubois, Frank Warren has won again with Dubois. And Frank Warren has come from being very low down and Matchroom being on top in the world. So actually Frank Warren, he's got the best heavyweight roster and he's beating Eddie Hearn in every single fight. And Frank Warren is now really at the top of the British boxing promoters. Because literally, he's got the best. He's got Fury. He's got Dubois. He's got champions. He's got everyone. And every single time he has one of his fighters come up against Eddie Hearns, as we've seen in the Nick Ball fight in the 5v5, and countless other ones, Zhilei Zhang, Joseph Parker, Frank Warren always takes the win. Why is this? Maybe Frank Warren has a better eye for good fighters. Because Eddie Hearn, I trust Eddie Hearn to make me more money, because he's a better promoter. But Frank Warren, he does probably know boxing more than Eddie Hearn, because he's been in it for probably twice as long as Eddie Hearn has been, and Eddie Hearn already wants to retire. He's already said he wants to retire before 50, and I think he even said when Joshua retires, he's going to retire, which is a bit early, seeing as Frank Warren's well into his 70s and 80s, and he's still going strong, and, you know, he's beating him. Also, a thing I would like to say about Frank Warren, he still does these small hall shows in York Hall, which are good, because if you're on a Saturday night, in between like a Joshua Dubois and a Bivol Beterbiev, where there's a gap in the market, where there aren't many fights going on. With Queensberry, Frank Warren, he puts on these fights. Obviously, his son does most of it, because he can't be making these small deal fights all the time. But in between these big fights, there are these small hall shows. Compared to Eddie Hearn, he's not doing the British small hall shows. He does like once every 3 or 4 months, while Frank Warren's doing a few a month. Instead, Eddie Hearn's more focused globally, and while him focusing globally, he's taking a bit of a back step on the British boxing scene, and he hasn't really focused on it too much. And you know, it's detrimental, because we can see it, because Frank Warren is beating him in every single way. Is it just chance and a bit of luck that Frank Warren is beating him in every single fight he's ever had against Eddie Hearn? Maybe it could be. But also, you've got to say, if a thing happens too many times in a row, it ain't luck. And it could say that Frank Warren just has a better eye for fighters. And he knows boxing skill-wise a bit more better than Eddie Hearn. But I think that is the truth. And Eddie Hearn's a bit more, Eddie Hearn's better with his money, and Frank Warren is better with the fighters. And I think if they did have another 5v5, which they will do, who will win? I don't know. I can't see Frank Warren winning 5 fights in a row again. I don't think Eddie Hearn would try and give him the best he did. Because in that 5v5, Eddie Hearn didn't put the best he had in that weight class. He just put the ones to match the fighters. He'll want to make sure he wins. Put it that way. And in the promotional scene, Ben Shalom. Eddie Hearn and Ben Shalom had a bit of beef. I will probably go into that in its own video, because them two have their own, Eddie Hearn and Ben Shalom. They do not like each other. And because Ben Shalom has also been rivaling the British scene, and within, other than heavyweight, Ben Shalom is dominating, with Frank Warren in second and Eddie Hearn in third. Because Ben Shalom has everyone. If you look at the British scene, the cruiserweight division is Ben Shalom's. He's got everyone. There's no one he doesn't have in the cruiserweights. But yeah, going back to Frank and Eddie, I think in the world scene, Eddie probably has the better fighters. You got Jared Boots Ennis and the likes of them. But in Britain, Frank Warren is destroying him. And when it comes to fighter versus fighter, Frank Warren wins every single time, because he's probably got better matchmaking and a better eye for the boxer. So overall, Frank's winning. I think Eddie Hearn probably makes a bit more money than him. But in Britain, Frank is dominating. And if you look at all the fighters, Frank's fighters are always winning. Put down in the comments what you think of this. This rivalry goes back years till it goes to Barry Hearn and Eddie Hearn's dad. Put down in the comments what you think. Who's going to stay at the king of the promotional game? And can Ben Shalom disrupt it? Thanks for watching, boys. Please like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one, boys. Peace.